Okay, guys, we're going to start. So, we are going to start this new. I was thinking, I give this class in the mornings on Saturday mornings, and it's going to help us while we've been talking about Kabbalah. So, the simple concepts, right? They're not simple, but as simple as it can be. Okay? And so, the idea of Kabbalah is to know who you are and where you come from and what is your roots. And it has to do with your soul. So let me explain to you a little about the soul, and then we're going to talk about these 9 personalities. I'll give it to you in English, but these are the personalities we're going to talk about. Now, in Kabbalah, the human being, right, the form. So Torah says that we were made at his own image. But we also know that God has no eyes, has no nose, he has no legs. So when he says image, it cannot be this humanoid as us. So what he's talking about is this spiritual realm that we are made of, this something called a soul. But a soul is not as simple as it sounds. So the word soul, right, in English is just one for it. We have another word for it, but it's not a soul, but it's kind of, we call it spirit and soul. And even though they are kind of separate, in the Hebrew idea, soul includes the spirit. So soul is everything. And the word for it is called nefesh. Nefesh. The word nefesh, the value of the word, because in Hebrew, every letter has a number, is the same value as the word heaven. So heaven and soul are the same word. So many times the word heaven comes in the Bible is really focusing on the word soul. That's why souls go to heaven. Well, the good ones, at least in religion, right? But that's what it comes from, is that idea the soul really should be living in heaven. But heaven is made of 2 words, which is the word shin, the Shemayim, shin, in the word mayim with the letter mem. So it's a shin and a mem, which is fire and water. So the water is the soul, as we know it, and the fire is the spirit. Does that make sense? So biologically now, see, because Kabbalah goes into all the different realms. So you need to understand every aspect of you, because you're not only a physical person. You're not only a daughter, you could be a sister, right? You can be a friend. So you have many functions. Same thing with the spiritual world. There's a lot of functions that you have. So, for example, so we have soul, it could be spirit, and it could be soul. In between. Also could be the word heaven, which is divided into fire and water. But if we was talking more biologically, right, it would be anger and sadness. We as humans lived in the balance between sadness and anger. When anger and sadness are in this equally the same way, you do feel in peace. That's what we call shalom. Shalom is living in heaven between fire and water. See? As a human, you need to have anger or you won't survive it, this world. You have to be angry. It's a good component of you. And sadness. Sounds kind of weird because we reject sadness and anger as a bad thing. But neurologically, it's not. Because when those chemicals are balanced, you feel fine. You feel in peace. Like right now, you might say, oh, I don't feel angry. Oh, I don't feel sad. It's because they're balanced. But the moment that something wrong happens to you, you might get angry. And if you're not respectful of your anger and you bring it down, anger continues going up. The more it goes up, it's fire, right? The more water I'm going to need to bring it down. So what happens? When I get so angry and I don't let it go and I don't bring it down, then sadness has to come to help. But because it's so much fire, water has to be like a flood. And that flood we call depression. So we had that no balance. Does it make sense? So, this class that we're going to give is about balance. Balance about who you are between fire and water. So, Kabbalah says our fathers are fire and water. And between those two, I was created. That's why we are kind of like firemen and lifesavers. Because we live in between water and fire. So, you have to respect when you're angry. You need to respect your anger. But you also have to respect your sadness. But we reject them. And so our soul has no way to live. And this is where you get very like anxious, anxieties, and you feel like you just want to leave your body and you're not happy with yourself. That's all it means is this imbalance. Does it make sense? Yes, no, who cares? Okay, good. So now, another thing that we need to do is then we have to make this idea and we're going to put it in these 9 personalities. You are one of those personalities. Because Torah says, right? Kabbalah in Torah, it says that in order to understand anybody, you have to wait, wait, your spirit. That's in the letter to John. John writes, it says, you have to wait the spirit to understand them. So a lot of our problems, I would say 99.9% of our problems are social problems. We're upset or with ourselves or with somebody else. That's where our problems really are. Our problems are not with anything else. We're not angry with the ocean, only if you were drowning, I guess. But if not, the ocean is there, it's humongous, it's 70% of the planet Earth, and I don't think about it only if I want to go to Cancun. Right? So really, my problems are the people that are around me. Why? Why do I have these problems? Why do I have these issues with all these people? The reason you're having issues is because you don't understand who you are. And because you don't know who you are, there's no way you're going to know who anybody else, because everybody else is a mirror of you. So imagine that you haven't seen yourself ever. Ever. And you go to a mirror and you look at that person. Do you recognize yourself? No, that happens when you have you hit yourself and you have a bruise or something, and you have a little deformed part of you or whatever accident. You couldn't recognize it. That is you. So imagine going through your whole life through mirrors and not knowing who you are. That'd be kind of eerie, isn't it? Well, imagine that all the people that are around you are your mirrors. And every time you see somebody, you do not recognize yourself through that person. And that's why you hate them, you love them, you care, you don't care, they're your enemy, they're not your enemy, because you're as confused as ever. The moment that you find who you are, you can find yourself in everybody. And then you can be kind and compassionate, and you're going to have a better life. Not a perfect life, but a way better life. Does it make sense? Yes, it makes sense. Good. So then, we're going to use this system. So in Kabbalah, we say that a human soul is built with 10 powers. Okay? 10 powers. Each power is a virtue. Now, I want to you understand what the word virtue means. If I say virtue, you say, what do you say? Good, but excellent. And that's wrong, but it's excellent. Because that's exactly what the dictionary will say. You're right. Virtue sounds something like some good behavior, ethics, means morality. You're a virtuous person. You're kind. You're nice. That's not what a Hebrew word virtue means, because this is a virtue. This is Hebrew, right? This is the idea of the Hebrews, not of Hispanics or Americans. This is Torah. A Torah is another people. They have a different ideas. Virtue in Hebrew is the word midot, midot, which means effective force. Effective force. Huh, that weird? So what does that mean, effective force? I'll tell you an example. There are some plants that can have the properties of the plant can heal you. Well, most medicines are built out of plants. But there are some plants who are really good for you. Like, for example, the plant they make 5-HTP for depression and anxiety. That's a supplement. It's really good. It makes you breathe. It takes your anxiety away. But it's a plant. A plant has no virtues of ethics. It's not a good plant. It's not a bad plant. It's an evil plant. It's a plant that has an effective force. Organically heals you. Right? So this is the difference between Kabbalah and religion. Religion forces you to be something you're not. Kabbalah teaches you to use your effective force to be who you are. Does that make sense? That means you're not forced to do anything, but automatically, organically, naturally, you are who you are, and that's the most effective form of power of you. When you're not trying to be something you're not. Now, you might say, I don't do that. Well, most of us do, consciously, unconsciously. We are always influenced by people around us. And they are telling us what to do, and what to feel, and how to see life. And even though they might be right in some things, you still have to go through it to be you. Kabbalah was built for rebellion people. People who say, I need to hear the voice inside of me. That spark. The word spark, right? Torot in Hebrew means the word midot, which means virtue. So everybody here has a spark. And that spark is your virtue, is your effective force that, organically you are who you are. I don't need to say I'm a rabbi anywhere I go. I'll tell you a story about that. And again, it's not because I'm a good person, a bad person, it's what my spark is. And if I allow my spark to be, wherever I'm at, it's going to come out, right? Because I'm allowing it. So I went with Robin, my son. We went to this place where I was teaching there. In this, upstairs, there's about 15,000 people. And downstairs of this hotel, there was a lot of vendors. And they read your hand, and there were a lot of witchy stuff, and stuff like that. I had no problem with it. We were downstairs, it was lunchtime, and we were walking around, just looking at stuff. And then there was this place where they take a picture of you, and they take your aura, right? The color of your aura. And so, Robbie looked at me and says, Dad, do you think I can take a picture of that? And I said, yeah, sure, you want to take it, right? So the guy looks at me, and he tells me, what do you do? Oh, I'm a psychologist. Continue with my son, put him in to take that picture. No, but what do you really do? I'm a psychologist. I don't know. I see people. I have patience. See, he continued. He says, and then he stopped talking to me, and then he took the picture of my son. Boom. And it was all red. And so the guy says to my son, you were driving so fast this morning, that's the argument I have with my son in the morning, because I used to have this red Beamer, and it was a fast thing, right? It was the M, so it was a fast car, and he was going fast, and I was going, relax, don't go so fast. And you're an angry person. This is what he told him. And you're like, he went at it, right? And so I got excited. And I said, can you take a picture of me? I want to know, because I had no problem. Tell me, right? And then he says, no, you're not, because you are not what you're telling me you are. I don't, it's not, he told me, I cannot read you because they don't let me. That's what he said to me. And I'm Jewish too, he said. But I didn't tell him anything. I really want him to do that. But your spark is a color, has a color. And some people can see the colors. Prophets can. That's why they can sense you. But a lot of us are like dead. We're like dead meat. And nobody can, you cannot feel yourself, or people cannot really feel you either. So Torah says that in order to know the universe, you need to know the personalities of people. So this is the study we're going to do. Okay, so from this point on, probably next 15 weeks, this is what we're going to do. Okay, which is going to help us a lot, you know, in who we are. I really want you to see yourself in it. Does it make sense? All right. So, first of all, we are going to take a test together. So, I don't know if you can do it in your phone, or I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to answer some numbers. All right? So, I'm going to do you, in Spanish, I do it different. I do the long version, but I'll do the short version with you guys, which is better. Okay, so take a pen, and then you're going to put test 1. And again, do not, I'm going to ask you 5 questions for test 1. Ready? So 1 is like the least of this statement, and 5 is totally your statement. Any questions? Because I'm gonna start, I'm not gonna stop, okay? Ready? Here we go. I am a perfectionist. I am a perfectionist. 1 to 5. Number 2, I always feel like I could have done better. I always feel like I could have done better. Number 3, there is a right way to do things and a wrong way. Number 4, I am afraid that I am not good enough. I am afraid that I am not good enough. And number 5, I can be harsh and critical. I could be harsh and critical. Okay, so you have 5 numbers. Add them up. Okay, that's test number 1. I need you to save that number and put test 1 and that number, final number. Are you writing the question?
Yeah.
No, just the number.
Okay, wait, the question and number.
I am afraid that I am not good enough. And the last one, I can't be harsh and critical. Just numbers, mijo. Just numbers, okay? Please. Got it? Okay. All right. Test number 2. Same thing. Just the numbers, okay? Ready? Relationships mean everything to me. Relationships mean everything to me. 1 least, 5 a lot, right? Number 2, I can read people and pick up their feelings. I can read people and pick up their feelings. Number 3, I love helping people. Be truthful. Number 4, I am scared of being rejected and unwanted. I am scared being rejected or unwanted. That's number 4. Number 5, sometimes I'm overly needy or dependent. Okay, add them up. Add them up and put them in test number 2. So at the end, you're going to have 9 tests, right? And we're going to figure it out. Okay, I'm going now to test number 3. Test number 3. Here goes the questions 1 to 5. Here we go. I work hard and I'm very efficient. I work hard and I'm very efficient. Number 2, I can morph when I need to and fit anywhere. Morph means I could change, I could be flexible when I need to and fit anywhere. Number 3, I'm collected and cool. I'm collected and cool. Number 4, failure is hard for me. I want to be impressive. Just like Darth Vader, impressive. Number 5, I am worried. I am a fraud. I am a phony. 1 to 5. Add them up. Add them up and put it in test number 3. Now we're going to go in test number 4. Everybody with me? Okay. Test number 4. I am a romantic at heart. Pedro Infante y Luis Miguel juntos. Number 2. I have a creative mind. I have a creative mind. Number 3. I am sensitive and emotional. I am sensitive and emotional. Number 4. I often jealous and disconnected. I am often jealous and disconnected. Number 5. I'm terrified of being insignificant. I'm terrified of being insignificant. That's test number 4. Add them up and you have test number 4. Test number 5. I do my research before trying something new. I do a research before trying something new. Number 2, I like spending time alone. Number 3, I am often quiet and private. I only show affection to a small few. Number 4, I hate feeling incompetent and ignorant. I hate feeling incompetent and ignorant. And number 5, sometimes I am cold and unfeeling. Sometimes I am cold and unfeeling. That's test number 5. I'm going to test number 6. Add them up, right? Add them up so you have all your numbers. Number 6, I am intuitive and caring. I am intuitive and caring. Number 2, I am loyal and a great team player. I am loyal and a great team player. Number 3, I am skeptical and don't trust easily. I am skeptical and don't trust easily. Number 4, I am scared of making the wrong choices. I am scared of making the wrong choices. Number 5, I'm more anxious than most people. I am more anxious than most people. That's test number 6. Add them up. And now we're going to go to test number 7. I'll give you a chance. Number 7, vamos. Okay, number 7. Number 7 is, I am an optimist. I am an optimist. Number 2, I am spontaneous and enthusiastic. I'm spontaneous and enthusiastic. Number 3, I love new and exciting experiences. I love new and exciting experiences. Number 4, I don't like thinking about painful emotions. I prefer to move on quickly. I don't like thinking about painful emotions. I prefer to move on quickly. And number 5, I can be scatterbrained and disorganized. That means you have a lot of thoughts in your mind and then you cannot focus, okay? That's number 7. So add all of them and you have test number 7. Okay, we go to number 8. Ready. I thought I'm tough and resilient. I'm tough and resilient. I am confident and assertive. I am confident and assertive. Deep down, I am scared and I'm scared to be lied or to be betrayed. Number 4, I avoid being controlled at all costs. And number 5, sometimes I am pushy and demanding. That's number 8. Add them up, and we go to number 9. All right. Number 9. I rather compromise than to have a conflict. I rather compromise than have a conflict. Number 2, I can see everybody's point of view. I can see everybody's point of view. Number 3, I am easygoing and flexible. I am easygoing and flexible. Number 4, I hate the idea of people being mad at me. I hate the idea of people being mad at me. And number 5, I'm often forgetful and unmotivated. I am forgetful and unmotivated. Add them up. Okay, so you should have 9 numbers. Add them up. So now pick the first 3 higher ones. From higher to lower, the first 3. Pick them up. No, so you have all of them, right? Now pick up the first 3 higher ones. From higher to lower. You should have 3 numbers. Got it, guys?
So what do I do with the 3 numbers?
I'm going to tell you now. Ready? Okay. Now, give me your first higher number of the test.
20 and 3.
But the test, what test was the highest? 6. So she's a 6. Right? So we're going to look at the map. 6 is called the loyal one. Loyalty. That's the one. What is your sign? Cancer. Believe it or not, that's where cancers are. Or no, Mija? Because she's in my class in the morning, and all my cancers are there. Most of my cancers will be there. I get your Y or your 5. We'll get to you. Yeah. Ready? Mijo, what was your test? The highest test? Number 7. Okay? So you are the enthusiastic. I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to talk about your moods and all that, but through your personalities, okay? So we're going to slowly. So you just know that you're number 7, okay? So 6, 7. What are your 5, you said? 5?
Okay, so I tied.
You tie.
I have 7 and 5.
7 and 5, yeah. You're a 7.
Yes.
You can be a 5 too, but you're a 7. I'll tell you why you can be a... you see the line in the map?
Yeah.
7 hits the 5?
Yeah.
That's why. That's why you're almost there. Okay? Mija, ¿tú qué eras? In the morning, what were you in the morning? A 9. That's a longer test.
I have 3 that's 5. 1, 7, and 9.
You're a 7. All right. 9.
6.
What did you say?
8,
Huh. Okay. You see the 9? You're the 5, 2 or 6? So see how 6 go to the line of 9? 9s are Libras. How's your number, mijo? You are Pisces? That's a Pisces number. Sevens are Pisces. Okay. All right. So we have that now. Okay. So we're going to start doing some things with it. All you need to know in Kabbalah, though, there is 10 powers, but you only see 9. Because the first Sephirah, the first power, is the one who gives the other 9. So Keter, which is the crown, right? The power of the crown, is 1 and it becomes plural. So actually, all of us have a little bit of all the personalities, but there is one that we are more inclined to it, because all the personalities come from one spirit. So Torah says that our soul is only one soul, but it got split in all different bodies. But then truly we are one. That's why in this congregation we pray the Shema. Shema means, Hear, O Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh is one. So even though we say 3 times the name, it really means one. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to tell you a story this way, okay? I'm going to tell you a little story that I made about the 9 personalities. Hopefully that will help you to figure it out where you are. Ready? So the 9 personalities were invited to a party. Okay, 9 personalities were invited to a party. So the first one who got to the party was number 1, the perfectionist. When he goes to the party, he goes, I don't think we should put the beer close to the sun. It's going to get warm. Let's get him out of there. I think that you should have done this party yesterday because it was better. It's okay. We're here now. We'll enjoy it. But I think next time maybe you need to ask me because it would have been better. So number 1 always is looking at the imperfections or the mistakes that the party has. So number 1 is constantly looking for things that are not done right. And it's going to affect you in every area of your life. Got it? So in the party, that's the one who's going to say that. Right? They're going to say the tent should have been put in the east because at night the sun is hitting there. In the evening, it's hitting there. So we should have put it this way. If you want to know a famous person who is at 1 is Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro is at number 1. He looked up at Cuba and he says, it's wrong. It shouldn't be this way. And he's going to fight against that. So that's 1. Then, number 2's get there to the party. Number 2 goes in and sees that all the dishes are not washed, and he starts washing the dishes. He starts cleaning, putting the chairs where he's supposed to, because he's the helper. Actually, he was not going to be invited, but because he helps, we invited him to the party. And in every group, my friends, of friends, there's that guy that nobody wants to invite, but he's bringing the beer. So we have to invite him. That's number 2's. They are the helpers. They have to help in order to belong. 1's belong by telling you what's wrong. Number 2's belong by helping. Okay? Number 3's get there. 3's are, we call them, in this case, the illuminary. They're the impressive spirit. They're the ones who go, guys, I have tickets to the Lakers. And they show the tickets to everybody in the party. And they go, if you do what you're supposed to do, you know what? I can teach you how to get these Lakers. Because he's the motivator. He's always showing up his things, his car, his clothes. He wants to be impressive. He's the one who goes to the beach in a 3-piece suit. There's people like that. And that's the spirit. So he's number 3. Number 4 got invited to the party, the melancholic, we call it melancholic, or the artist. And he goes, I'm not going. My ex-girlfriend will be there. I know you know what, they're talking bad about me anyway. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a song. And he stays home in his guitar, singing why he didn't go to the party. There's people like that. They're always in this nightmare. Right? Those are number 4s. That will be Arjona. It's his failure that is what we all love. We love to sing his failures. It's better to feel it through a song than to reel to me. Because we all want to feel that romantic, crazy love that you lost in the Bahamas. When you haven't even got out of Tijuana, but who cares? Because that's what 4s are. Do you know people like that in your life who are the melancholic? I have a patient. Who does art, and she does like very dark paintings, and she gets afraid. And I says, well, if you're gonna sell your painting, you really have to be down there, because that's your style. She cannot be too happy painting. She's gonna give me a crap of a painting, because that's not what she does. She doesn't do Disney pictures. She does dark stuff, like sadness, Van Gogh style. If you see a stormy night, at 12 o'clock at night, you start running out of the house. Those pictures have this sadness, right? Hi, how are you? This sadness of Van Gogh, right? You know the Van Gogh, they price his paintings now, and they're almost a $900 million of his paintings. Almost $1 billion is what is worth his paintings. In his time, when he painted them, nobody wanted to sell them, buy them. So much that whoever buy his paintings wanted only the frame, the wood, because the wood was more expensive. Eventually, he killed himself because nobody bought his paintings. Why? Because he didn't embrace being number 4. He didn't embrace his sadness. Through his sadness and melancholic idea, he made these masterpieces. But we see sadness as a bad thing. It's not when it's done correctly. This is the power of Kabbalah. See? Number 5 gets invited too. 5 wants to go. He says, you get invited to the party, but then 5 goes, I wonder if it's going to be a little boring there. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my book with me. And so he takes his book, and then he's in the party, and when somebody stops talking to him, he goes to his book. And he could be there all night. Everybody's going crazy, and then they, hey, you want to eat? Sure, thank you. And eats it. If you talk to him, he'll talk to you. But if you don't talk to him, he has better things to do. Because the 5 only wants to do what he's good at. So if you invite a 5 to miniature golfing, and he never goes, he never has gone there. If you never have gone to miniature golfing, it's kind of frustrating the first time because you have no idea what's going on. And you feel like you did wrong, he will never go back. 5s only would do what they think they're good at. That's why they will have a lot of social problems of enhancing their lives. That's the 5s. 6 get invited. Oh, 6 get invited, and 6 is exciting to go. When 6 get there, says, I know you guys trust me a lot, but I don't trust none of you. You guys fail me. You know, you're not trustworthy, but you can trust me. So much that 6, we call it the cynical, loyalty cynical, we call it. Because they feel that anybody can trust them, but they don't trust nobody. That is number 6 in the personalities. We're going to talk about all of them, each by, by themselves. Number 7 gets invited too. 7 goes there, and he gets, how many people are coming? Oh, it's going to be 10. And it's only 30 pounds of chicken? You guys are crazy. Let's buy 40 more. Let's have a lot. The more the better. So they're going to throw everything in the party. They don't want to see nobody suffering. They don't want to complain. They just want to party, 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 party. And if they feel something's wrong, they'll go away. They don't like that. They want to be, they're the center of the party. But the reason is because they give everything. They're the one who dance the most. They're the ones who eat the most, but they're also the one who gives the most. That's number 7s. Number 8s. They got invited too, but they know that nobody likes them. But 8s go, and? I know you don't like me, and? But I'm here, so watch it. I'm okay if you don't like me, but I'm supposed to be in this party too because I got invited. So in Spanish we call him el retador, le llamamos. He's always challenging you, but he's pretty much a leader. And then we have number 9s. 9s get to the party and they know everybody. You know people that know everybody in the party? I mean, they know everybody. Even the opposite of the family in the party goes, hey, what is your name and what do you do? The number 9 goes, oh, let me, you can meet my friend here. Those are 9s. Those are the Libras in Kabbalah. Libras. People who are Libras, the escapists, escape when the things get problems. So there you have it. You have 9 of them. Any questions about those 9? Yes.
You know what? What you said about Libra, like nobody knows him. My boss is the same. I'm trying to figure you out, Candy. It's been like a month already, and I'm like,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of hard to figure it out. They are really hard to figure. They are very good at judgment. Libras are very good judgment. You know, they judge well. They could be caring and loving, but life becomes rough on them. They escape you. They ghost you. That's what they will do to you. You have to be careful. All right, so you have the 9. So you see, I'll explain to you something else before we go. And next week we'll continue, okay? So we have something called stressors. So I'm going to talk about me, okay? And then you can see your numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers and you think about them, okay? And then we'll do it next week. So I am a number 7. That's who I am, right? So I like things, I don't like people to suffer. It's not that I don't like them to suffer, I just don't want to see it. So you don't see me in a hospital, you will see me in a funeral. I won't, because I don't want to see them suffer. Maybe I should go, but that's one of the things that I don't like. And if I believe that food is missing, I will get very upset. So, because I like abundance. I feel that if it's not enough, I'm going to starve or something suffering. And it goes into your head. For example, when I was younger, I was very young, and my son was young, I would say, Robert would say, I want more rice, example. And then my wife would say, oh, there's no more rice. That would be a fight, like a killing fight. Because I would say, why there's no more rice? It should be rice like it's China here, just rice. Everywhere for us, rice everywhere. But no, I couldn't see that I couldn't give it the rice. Oh, there's no more ketchup. What do you mean there's no more ketchup? You should have a line like Costco, 5 ketchups in the house. So I can grab each as I go. That's a 7 in their max. Because they don't want to say what? No. So they get in trouble because they always want to say yes. Because they don't want to feel the suffering of the no. But then, this is what happens to a 7. So 7 have wings. We call it wings. If you see the wings of the 7, 7 has an 8. No, I'm sorry, not the wings. The stressors, we call it. When I get stressed, I become a 1. And when I am secure, I become a 5. Perfectionist. So this is what happens to us. So a 7, when he gets stressed, he becomes critical and then starts saying something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. Because the 7 feels the pressure. And when it's stressed, it starts seeing all the bad things that happen. Get it? So when I'm stressed, I become a 1. Very critical, judgmental, fatalist. Everything is wrong. But when I'm secure and I feel so happy, and I become a 5. I become the one who likes to read, research. I love studying. So my life has changed. I used to be, when I was younger, a 1 in stressor, so I was making everybody miserable. But as I mature, I start loving more this. Because I feel more secure now, so I tend to go more back to becoming an observant. I observe more because I am more of a 5. Got it? But truly I am a 7. It just depends if I feel secure. So in your case, you're a 6, right? Then you are a 9 when you're secure, and you're a 3 when you're, when you're 9 when you're not secure, and 3 when you are. So look at the map. So I told you because you're a 7, right? So you're like me. Anybody else understand the numbers? All right. So next week we'll go and we'll start going step by step on that. Okay? And we'll talk about then also characters of the Bible with each of them. So you will know your character. All right? Yes. Yes. You are a what? So you are the Sephirah of Hod. H-O-D, Hod. So we love surprises. We like the awe of things. But we get very bored very quickly. If we get bored, we start doing something else. So it's Aaron. Aaron is the brother of Moses, right? Aaron didn't do anything, but he observed everything. He was there when the sea was splitting half. He goes, wow, what a crazy miracle. But he wasn't responsible for it. But he enjoyed it because you become an observant. And people love you. They love more Aaron than Moses. When Aaron died, everybody cried more than with Moses. Moses is the one who loved the most, but Aaron people love because he was always like, let's party. Let's party. Let's have a good time. Let's do it. That was him. Yeah. We'll talk about them, okay? All right. See you next week. Yes. Bye. Good night. Go away. All right. See you guys.